This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, hits to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30. Needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline. Breaks the third tackle. Comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle. Sweeps down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good. Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
The San Francisco 49ers. We can do whatever we want.
Click, click. Boom! What is going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. Guys, it is so close to football being back on the field, man, in front of all of our eyes. And I am here to talk about some of the things that have been going on through training camp, some of the things that are going on at these open practices and all that, man. We're going to have a lot of fun. Let me run through these formalities so we can go ahead and get all that good stuff out of the way, okay? Scrolling across the bottom of the screen are some simple instructions for you YouTubers right now. If it's your first time here and you guys enjoy the show, please make sure you guys hit that like button at some point, all right? Now, before you decide on whether or not you like the show, do me a favor and subscribe and turn on your notifications right now, okay? Go ahead. I'll give you a second. Okay, your time is up. See how quick a second is, man? It makes a big difference, right? 1 second? Not really. Give us a follow on some of our social media platforms, guys. We have Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Those handles are Nothing But 9ERS. That is Nothing But 9ERS. And then we also have Twitch and Facebook, and those handles are Nothing But Niners. So make sure you guys are showing us some love over there on those pages as well. I'm your guy, Mike Andrews 83 on Twitter. You can follow me over there if you want to. Maybe you don't want to, I don't know. But like my man Daniel says here, hit that like button. I want to say what's up to everybody out there in the chat. Sin, I see you out there. Steve-O is in the building. Callie is showing some love. Where's my man Callie's message? There it is right there. Once again, it's on. Huh? Bang, bang. Let's go. Season is almost here. Guys, there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to try to make this quick. I know people are watching like the Olympics and all that stuff. Some people are getting ready for House of Dragons and all that. There's a lot going on right now, but I want to talk about a couple of things here, okay? So we're going to start with some of the latest news surrounding your favorite team on the 49ers. Now, one more reminder before I get to that even, and I want to tell you guys to head on over to the Patreon, all right? We got some presser breakdowns that are going to be released. I will be doing one later today as well, so make sure you guys get over there for the presser breakdowns and other bonus content, patreon.com/NB9ERS. Get on over there, show your boy some love, all right? Subscribe to some of the higher tiers for extra content, some giveaways and all that stuff coming to you guys this year. It's going to be a good one, so make sure you guys are showing some love, all right? Now, let's go ahead and start talking some 49ers, man. Latest news and rumors. Camp is going on. I'm going to talk about some of the news that we've heard from certain players and all that stuff. But I always want to get the bad stuff out the way first. That's just the way I'm wired. I want to start with this rumor right here. This is from my guy, Wayne Breezy, and he is letting us know right away, okay? So you guys can see the message here. Wayne Breezy tweets out the following. 49ers right guard Spencer Burford has a broken hand. He's expected to miss approximately 3 weeks, and the team is deciding whether he needs surgery or not. That's per Matt Mayoko. So the 49ers right guard has a broken hand. That's going to make things interesting for what they're doing here in camp. You know, is this an opportunity for a guy like Purdy to come in and just shine? You know what I'm saying? Is that something that we should be looking at, right? That's going to be a lot of fun. Are they going to try to slide Feliciano over there? We got some camp battles going on at the center position already. You know what I'm saying? Fluffy's in the building. What's going on, Fluffy, man? Long time no see. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. All right. Mr. Baker is in here. Callie says it here, man. It's Poonie time. I like that. It really, really might be, right? I mean, the 49ers get these offensive linemen, and not many of them play as rookies. And I was listening to this podcast, I believe it was the Tim Kawakami podcast, and Kyle and John, their mindset, Kyle's mindset. Let me not speak for John. This was Kyle only. His mindset on the offensive line it's kind of unique, right? Kyle made a very good point in saying that it's easy for a first or second round guy to get taken, and they're going to play all 4 years, and it's hard to tell whether or not they're a bust, right? These are Kyle's words, not mine. I want to make it clear what I'm saying here. Kyle said that it's hard to tell if these guys drafted in the first round are bust or not. He was like, but if we can go out there and we can get some good production from other players, we can invest in having some other really good players on the team. We don't have to use those offensive lineman draft picks. And he said that, this is Kyle's first time being a part of, he said before last season, he had never been a part of a team that was predicted to be favorites in every single game on the regular season schedule. It happened last year at the start of the 2023 season for the 49ers. And after the schedule was released this year and all the odds came out, guess what happened again? You guessed it. The 49ers are favorited again in all 17 games. And while us Niner fans are sitting around like, oh, man, we need help on the offensive line. We need help on the offensive line, right? It's kind of like, yeah, well, something's got to be right. Kyle was in there. He was kind of, on his braggadocious but calm and humble. I like the way he delivered the message, but the message is the same, right? We sacrifice certain positions so we can be really good at other positions. And in order for your team you could have the best offensive line in the NFL. But if that offensive line isn't going to equate to points and the skill positions start to suffer, your team's probably not as good. But if your team is good, all of a sudden you're favorited for 34 consecutive games. I mean, listen, we can sit here and try to say, oh, Kyle don't know what he's talking about. Kyle's not that guy. Kyle's this and Kyle's that. And everyone has their gripes with Kyle. He's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, right? But I think that deserves a round of applause. I'm going to give it to him, man. 34 consecutive games being favored to start the season. Hasn't happened since I've been paying attention to the 49ers. Not here, not before last year. Definitely didn't happen 2 years in a row. So kudos to Kyle for that. All right. Now, of course, I got a call for work, and I have to take it live on air because it's one of my drivers. So let's just see what he wants, and you guys get to listen in. What's up, Lemire? Yeah. What's up? Go ahead. Uh-huh. No, on the weekends and after hours, use the paperwork and then turn that in to Chris later. To me or Chris. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. No, they'll do it manually. Just write everything down, keep track of the serial numbers. They'll take care of it. They do that. Yeah, you don't know how to do it. You can't do it. All right. All right, have a good weekend. Look at me saying have a good weekend like the weekend's not over. Okay, all right. Now that that's out of the way, real business. Now back to this business right here. All right, guys. So, what was I saying? See, I don't remember where I was going, man. But the offensive line, cool. I'm going to come back to the offensive line in a little bit. All right? Not right now, but I am going to come back to the offensive line in a little bit because there's just some stuff. There's some stuff. I want to get back to some other news here. All right? I am going to share this post from our guy Wayne Breezy here. And this one was an interesting one. The 49ers worked out quarterback Josh Love per Lombardi himself. All right, David Lombardi saying that the 49ers worked out quarterback Josh Love. And what's funny about that is we heard that Joshua Dobbs is not looking good. And Brandon Allen ain't looking too good either. They said Brock Purdy looks sharp. He kind of picked up where he left off, first offseason coming in here and just doing this thing and not worrying about much, right? Purdy's looking good out there. But the other quarterbacks, not so much. And so the Niners are saying, hey, let's work out somebody else. Now, does this mean that this guy is going to be in line to be the next backup or anything like that? Maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? Is there an injury to somebody else? I don't know. Oh, Daniel Garcia saying Dobbs looked good yesterday. Okay. All right, that was yesterday. Now, the first 2 days, that's not what I heard. I have not heard or read anything about what was going on yesterday. So let me be very clear, guys. I have been out of the loop for the last 24 hours when it comes to 49ers news and things like that. So I've been out of the loop. Now, you got to tell me that he looked good. Cool. Absolutely cool. But the Niners are working out a quarterback for a reason. All right, we have an undrafted guy that we signed, and they're still bringing in other people. I just don't know. I don't know what we should be expecting, but just that's something to keep your eyes on, guys. Something to keep your ears peeled for. All right, and we're gonna keep paying attention to it. Okay. I'm trying to think, is there anything else from camp that we really, really need to go over? Look, it's just camp. Pads don't come on until this coming week. So, take any and everything that you heard with just a grain of salt, positive or negative. Just, hey, it's good to see the guys are out there. Good to see that the guys are running around and healthy for the most part, knock on wood. Other than the Spencer Burford thing, I haven't heard anything too crazy. We got our scare early with Leonard Floyd being injured, and he left and came back, and he's been back. Christian McCaffrey and some of the veterans missed the practice a couple of days ago, and then they all came back. So it's cool. It's cool, right? We are going through, and no season-ending injuries so far. Knock on more wood. All right? So there are a couple of things that I do want to discuss with you guys. I'm going to try to make this a quick episode. I'm not going to try to keep you guys for too long. But I want to start with a shout out. All right. I want to give a shout out to my man Deebo Samuel. Now, the reason I want to give a shout out to Deebo is because he's coming into this offseason the right way. A couple episodes ago, while ago, I was talking about how Deebo had his first presser of the season. Hair wasn't cut, didn't have the studs and the necklace and all that stuff on. I mean, Deebo was all about that business. And for everything that I've heard, he has kept his head down and he is focused on business, right? And I've, the training camp reports there might be some people with angles and things like that. And I don't know. I'm not here to discuss the angles that the people might be on when it comes to Deebo. But they're saying, oh, he still can't beat man and all that stuff and everything. But from what I'm hearing, the rapport between Deebo and Purdy looks good. Deebo has been the guy. He's getting all the targets and things like that. And so I like it. He's out there working regardless of how you feel about it. He's got his head down. He's focused. And he needs some more money on the back end maybe, or he's playing to try to get a contract somewhere else maybe. Who knows? But Deebo is focused. That's what we do know. He heard the whispers all off season from the moment the Niners were heading to the draft. From the moment the Super Bowl was over, it was, man, the Niners need another wide receiver. Maybe Deebo ain't it. Right? That's what people were saying. Everyone was, it's Aiyuk is wide receiver one. Deebo is a good weapon, but we'll see what happens going forward. People were disappointed with Deebo's production in the Super Bowl. People were disappointed with Aiyuk's production in the Super Bowl. And what did the 49ers go out and do in the first round? You guessed it, they draft the wide receiver. And as soon as that happens, it was, oh, man, Deebo could get traded now. Or is it Aiyuk? Or is he here to replace this guy? Is he here to replace that guy? And we were like, well, we don't know. Let's just see what happens. And the guy that they took in the first round, and Pearsall, hasn't really been able to practice, right? Blue non-contact jerseys and things like that. It's just a matter of how you choose to look at things. All right? He starts out on an injury list and all, and it's like, okay, what's going on with this guy? Is this just precaution? Is this the 49ers just being safe with their first-round investment? It's possible, right? Let me take a sip, gather my thoughts. But here's what I do know. Deebo heard the trade rumors. Got right to the grindstone. We're going to sharpen this up. I know they say steel sharpens steel, but if y'all remember any of the old back in the day joints, they got that big stone wheel, and they sharpen those blades on there. And he said, listen, I'm not going to use another wide receiver to sharpen me. I'll help the rookies, right? Deebo heard working out with some of the rookies, right? That's iron sharpening iron, right? But when back in the day when they had to sharpen those blades and they're getting ready for battle, it's that big stone wheel and they're out there and it's spinning and they're sharpening those joints up. You see the sparks flying off and everything, right? Deebo's doing something just a little bit different. Right? Cool. Then you got the Brandon Aiyuk stuff. And Aiyuk is like, hey, man, I need my money. And then they were close, they were not close, and we've been all back and forth through it. And then camp comes, and he's a hold in. He's there. He's in person. Him and John are walking around talking, their buddy. That tells me I think something's going to get done. But the leverage ain't quite where you wanted it to be. And I'm gonna talk to you all about leverage. All right? Kyle and John did something very interesting. During contract negotiations for a Mr. Bosa, John came straight out and said, anybody on this team is up for trade except for Nick Bosa. And so when the media had their opportunity to ask John about Brandon Aiyuk, right? It's clearly your best wide receiver. This guy does everything. He's homegrown talent. He blocks down the field. He's the best blocking player on the team that's not an offensive lineman. And he's got most of the offensive linemen beat with blocking grades, according to PFF. I digress, right? But homegrown talent, does everything Kyle wants him to do. Still no leverage. Okay? How do you get leverage? Well, right now, there is a guy that is putting on a masterclass in leverage. I'm going to give the chat about 10 seconds to type in the name of the person that you think I'm talking about. He is putting on an absolute masterclass with leverage. All right? Come on. Y'all type in who you think I'm talking about. He is putting on a clinic in what leverage is and isn't when it comes to contract negotiations. Huh? Look, let's see who y'all typing in here. Yeah. Huh? Oh, y'all with it. Y'all sharp. See, y'all don't need me to do no shows. What am I here for? Y'all got it. Hold on. Come on. Y'all got it. Y'all know who it is. Yeah. Say his name, y'all. Huh? Trent Williams. Big Trent. Mr. Silverback, number 71. Trent Stingy Williams. That's what they call him now? Huh? Is he stingy? Is he selfish? Huh? Silverback. Let's go, right? Huh? All of a sudden, the Niners go to the draft. Trent Williams, thinking about retirement following the Super Bowl loss, right? He said, nah, I'm really there. I'm here. I'm back. First round comes, no offensive lineman taken. Second round comes, nobody just take no tackles, right? Everybody kept saying the Niners need to take a tackle, But they took a tackle, but they moved him to guard. Is it going to be like tackle? They don't know, right? So the offensive line is what it is. It is every 49ers fan top concern. And the Niners don't address it in the first round. They don't go out there and get a left tackle at all, right? Trent Williams, look at that. He right there. That's him right there. He said, oh, word. I don't have no guarantees in my contract. Oh, word. Now, this isn't new. That contract has been that contract. John Lynch knew. Prague knew. Trent Williams and his agent, they knew. And Trent said, I ain't even going to show up. Don't worry, I'll be in shape. I'm over here, though. I'm doing my own thing. And all of a sudden, Trent's not showing up. The offensive line is struggling, and the pads aren't even on yet. Think about that for a second. The offensive line is struggling without full contact. Just imagine when these defensive linemen can get to slapping, can get to scrapping, pushing and pulling and tossing people left and right. Just imagine what it's going to look like. And if you don't believe that Trent Williams has all the leverage right now, go back and listen to John and Kyle's presser. And they talk about the continuity of the offensive lineman. Go back and listen to the Kyle solo joint that he did with Tim Kawakami. He says, hey, man, look, we had different castaways, and this guy was cut from Denver, and this guy was a 6th-round pick, and this guy was that, this guy was that. And he talked about we had Trent. Yeah, we got him. What was it, like 4th overall or something crazy like that? We had Trent, but everybody else was Kyle bigged up the guy in the middle of contract negotiations. Kyle, right? Like if I'm John Lynch and if I'm the Niners, I'm pulling my hair out. Kyle, what do? You say that now? Right now? Right now? We were cool with giving Trent some more money. We need him. He just wants some guarantees. But now it's got to be more money. Now it's got to be more money. Kyle said we had Trent and a bunch of other question marks, and we made it work. But now all of a sudden, we need big Trent Williams to show up. Now all of a sudden, it's like, hey, man, I understand I'm on the books for this amount of money, but ain't none of it guaranteed. On the first snap of the game, on the first drive of the season, God forbid, I'm knocking on all kinds of wood over here. God forbid something were to happen to Trent Williams. He has no guarantees. Oh, come on. What are the odds of that happening, man? Come on, man. Listen, man, these guys are in the trenches, and every play is physical. I don't care if it's a run play or a pass play. Every play is physical. Every play is physical. Right? Right. You going to franchise tag him? Well, you can't because he's under contract. That's leverage for Trent Williams. Are you going to just rework his deal? Cool. Let's call that a push. You can rework it. But the market has done this, and Trent's here. He's not number 1 or 2 anymore, right? Now, all of a sudden, Kyle said, hey, we had a bunch of question marks and Trent. And we had more rushing yards than anybody in that franchise's history in any season. That was with Trent and a bunch of question marks. So Trent stays his ass home. And all of a sudden, they let that offensive line do what it's going to do without Trent. Trent heard Kyle. His agent heard Kyle. And now all of a sudden, it's like, man, we got to get this right with Trent. We got to make this right. Hey, Brandon Aiyuk, take note. This is what leverage looks like. Trent don't have to tweet out no pictures or Instagram or Snapchat any pictures of another team's offense and who might want Trent. Let me tell you something. Y'all can come up with a couple of teams that might want Aiyuk right now and be willing to do another contract right now. You could probably come up with some teams. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. How many teams would want Trent Williams? Don't even answer the question, y'all. It's at least 30. It's at least 30 teams that would want Trent Williams right now. He's not online talking shit. He's not calling people saying, hey, put me on your show. I got some things I need to get off my chest. He's not doing any of those things. Trent is sitting back saying, look what you got. Look at the free agents you brought in. Look at the players you drafted. Look who's behind me. Look at the market. Now look at my guarantees. Fam. If that's not leverage, y'all, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Brandon Aiyuk, this is how you get leverage. This is how you get leverage. Now, the best thing to happen to Brandon Aiyuk is Trent doing this. Because you can best believe that, one, the Niners are going to get this done. Trent's not showing up to practice without guarantees in his contract because it could happen in practice. It could happen in practice. Best believe injuries happen all the time. He is not showing up without new money. But Aiyuk, have no fear. Captain Trent is here. Because with that new money, we'll open up more cap space. It will open up more cap space. And the Niners are sitting around acting like, hey, man, we got to hold on to this money that we got right now. This 30+ million that we got in cap space, man, we got to pay number 13. We got our own version of Joe Montana. We got our own version of, as he compared himself to, Tom Brady. You can use that 30 for that. But when Trent goes in there and gets that new money, woo, he's going to open up some more cap space down the road. Woo! Now, all of a sudden, now the Niners might maybe actually be able to afford Brandon Aiyuk. Brandon Aiyuk, you should be sending Trent Williams a thank you basket. Buy him something. I don't know what you buy the guy that has everything already. Send them a pack of bananas or something. What do gorillas like to eat? Do gorillas eat bananas? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. But get him something. You got to call Trent and get him something. All right? Get him a one of those stupid ugly ass trucks called now that people are trying to say are good and they look terrible. Those ugly, they look like something out of Roblox. What are those trucks called? Is it a Tesla truck? The Cybertruck? That thing's ugly as hell. They look like they straight out of a Roblox game. But I digress. You got to send that man something. You got to send him something, man. Because Trent is doing the biggest favor for Brandon Aiyuk. I'm just letting y'all know that whatever deal the Niners decide to work out with Trent Williams will create at least $14 million in cap space. I'm telling you guys a number. I'm not pulling this number out my butt, okay? This is something that has been worked on. This is something that the Niners are this close to getting done. They are this close to getting Trent's done. And how do I say this without sounding like I'm saying what I'm about to say? I have it on good faith. We'll call it faith. I have it on good faith that Trent's new money will get Brandon Aiyuk's deal done here in San Francisco. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to congratulate you and all of us as Niner fans on keeping Trent Williams. Well, let me get my round of applause. Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Fred Warner, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Aiyuk, and George Kittle, and Kyle Juszczyk all together for at least 2 more seasons. All of them for at least 2 more seasons. Huh? You know what that means? You know what that means? What's 17 times 3? Is that 51? I'm not a mathematician, but I think that's 51. 1, 2, that's 51. I think the Niners might be favorites for 51 consecutive games to start the season, y'all. Now, I don't want to jump ahead to 2025, but I'm just saying that if you keep that core together, oh, and there's another contract that nobody's talking about. See, new money for Trent, a rework here and a rework there. Is it possible that they could also keep Dre Greenlaw? Huh? The spark plug for that defensive engine. Huh? The spark plug for that defense. We saw and felt that man's presence on every defensive snap that he played in that Super Bowl. And then we saw the engine start to sputter a little bit once he went away. He's coming off an injury late in the year. Negotiation's going to be a little bit finicky. You think the Niners want to keep him? You think the Niners want to strike while the iron's hot? Somewhere I read, let me scroll up because it's in here somewhere. Someone said, do you think it's time for the Niners to change the way they negotiate? Let me find that message. I'm going to find it. 916 says, should the 49ers reconsider how they do contract negotiations? Let me tell you something. They will not drop the ball on Dre Greenlaw. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine keeping all this homegrown talent together outside of Trent, outside of Christian McCaffrey. I got one guy here and I got one guy there. Outside of these two guys, it's all homegrown talent. Oh, and Juice, but he's a fullback and I'm not really, come on. But that's the core of this team. That is the pulse, the heart. You can give all these guys a different system. How many different systems are in the human body? It's a lot of them, right? I think we grew up thinking it was only a couple and then find out it's a lot more, right? But one guy's the nervous system, one guy's the muscular system and intravascular. I don't know what all that stuff is. I'm not a biology major, all right? But these are all different parts of the body that make us work and function at a high level. But it starts with getting this guy his guarantees. It started with this one. New money with the new contract. Kudos to McCaffrey. Good job, CMC. You helped the Niners. But when this guy gets this contract now, oh, man, the floodgates open. And I'm not worried about what next year's salary cap is. You know why? Because every year those numbers go up. Every year. You guys watching Hard Knocks? You guys watching the Giants thing that they're doing? I just saw the episode where they got the email with the new numbers. My man said, oh, wow, this changes everything. He walked up to the board that they had all these free agents and the costs and everything, and all of a sudden they started putting guys back in. Oh, well, with this new money, we can afford this guy. Well, with this new money, we can afford that guy, and that's cool. The responsible thing to do is to not assume that money is coming in. I'm not a GM. I don't work for the team. So while they shouldn't count on an increase in the salary cap, I'm here to tell y'all that the odds are that the money is going to continue to come in. And it's going to be okay. We're going to take a hit when it's time for Brock to get his. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Here's what the Niners need to happen. The Niners need the Cowboys to keep Prescott without giving him a new contract. Hear me out. Hear me out. I went through the free agent list of 2025 NFL quarterbacks. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up and share it with y'all. I'm going to share it with y'all right now. Give me a second. Let me pull it up here. Okay. I went through this free agency list. And 2025 NFL free agent quarterbacks, okay? And while there are a lot of names on the list, what do those names really mean? Huh? So what you have to worry about is resetting the market. Now, we saw Jordan Love get his contract. Oh, I got to talk about that for a second. I got to talk about how I'll get back to it. We saw Jordan Love get this money that he absolutely does or doesn't deserve. I don't care how you feel about the guy in his play, but the market is the market. You have a starting quarterback, you have a backup quarterback, you have a placeholder. Those are the three tiers of contracts that you're going to get for quarterbacks. And if you're a starter, if they believe you're a starter, then they're going to give you the next tier. Jordan Love and his contract right now, it turned some heads. It definitely turned some heads, okay? So he came in averaging what? Like 55? Was it 55 million? Something like that? Let me see. Hold on. Let me just find his contract real quick. Y'all bear with me for a second here. 4 years, $220 million. I believe that's 55 million. Again, I'm no mathematician. Let me break out the calculator. This is lazy. I should be able to do this in my head, but I've had a sip or two, and my brain shuts down when it's time for me. Oh my God, it's exactly 55 million, right? Okay, so 55 million per year average. And I said, well, what does that mean for the 49ers? What is that going to do when it's time for us to pay and extend Brock Purdy, right? So let me zoom in on this here. I looked at this. These are the free agents available in 2025. 2025, okay? You got Dak Prescott at the top of the list. Is he going to get top dollar somewhere? Even if he hits free agency, he will. Someone out there, some team is going to give him more than what Jordan Love got. Should they? Up to you to decide. Will they? Absolutely. Okay? Sam Darnold, he's not going to get that kind of money. Zach Wilson, he's not going to get that kind of money. Trey Lance, Jacoby Brissett, Taylor Heineke. Somebody tell me to stop when you hear a name that you think is going to get more money than Jordan Love. Marcus Mariota, Jarrett Stidham, Andy Dalton, Drew Lock, Justin Fields, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, Mac Jones, Carson Wentz, Jimmy, can't say his name, Case Keenum, Mason Rudolph, Easton Stick, Cooper Rush, Joshua Dobbs, C.J. Beathard, Brandon Allen, Nick Mullins, Josh Johnson. Oh, man, the Niners went on a little run here. Are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these guys are former 49ers. Davis Mills, Kyle Allen, Tyler Huntley, John Woodford, Nathan Peterman, Russell Wilson. No. Nate Sudfeld, Tim Boyle, Philip Walker, Brett Ripien, Will Grier, Jeff Driscoll, former 49er, Logan Woodside. None of these guys are going to do anything to that market except one. So here's what we need from the Cowboys. Don't pay Dak. Because here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. If Dak Prescott goes out right now and gets $57 million a year, the Niners are going to have to give Brock Purdy 60. They're going to have to give him 60. But if they don't, because there's a head-to-head that's already happened between Jordan Love and Brock Purdy, and y'all know who came out on top of that. Y'all know who came out on top of that. Then maybe we can get Brock Purdy for an average of $57 million a year. But if Dak gets that bag, before the Niners extend Brock Purdy, we're talking about $60 million a year. Whew. Now, it's not my money, and I do think that the Niners can make it work. I do. But we all know that Brock Purdy and what we've seen in a season and a half, 2 seasons, 2.5, we know Brock Purdy is going to get the job done. We know. Will the Cowboys extend him? I saw the parts of the Dak Prescott conference. Did y'all see it? Let me tell you what he said. I don't control anything. I'm prepared either way. They want me here? Great. Want to be here. They don't want me here? Cool. I can't control it. That's what he said. He's not worried about it because he knows he'll get that money somewhere else. He knows he's going to get that money somewhere else. He ain't stressing that. He's not stressing it. Okay, Daniel Garcia has a really good question here. He says, you think Brock surprises us all and takes a little less to keep the core as solid as possible? No. No. And no. And I'm going to tell you why. He's already taking less. He can't help where he was drafted. I get it. I understand. Completely understand. He's already taken less. Absolutely. That's just where he was placed. That's just where he was placed. But Brock Purdy's not taking less. Charles says here, well, Tua took less. He did. And Tua's one concussion away from being kicked out of the NFL. Did he take less, or is that the best he could get? See, there's a difference. See, therein lies the difference. One guy has a long history of injuries in this level. The other guy has one injury. And what did he do following that injury? Just a Super Bowl appearance. Just the lead with a couple minutes left in regulation in the Super Bowl. Just the lead in overtime in the Super Bowl. Not his fault the defense couldn't hold up, right? right? Purdy's getting the bag, and there will be no discount given. Mr. Irrelevant, check this. What a story. The story is still writing itself. Mr. Irrelevant is going to turn into the highest paid player in NFL history. Tony Romo can never. Kurt Warner could never. Huh? Those guys weren't even Mr. Irrelevance. They weren't even Mr. Irrelevance. If I'm Brock Purdy, I'm not taking a penny less. And here's why. Here's another reason why. Nowhere in Kyle Shanahan's history as a 49ers head coach has he shown that he values the quarterback position. Mike, what are you talking about, man? They went out and paid Jimmy Garoppolo big money at the time. Yes. And Kyle showed us immediately after that he couldn't stand Jimmy Garoppolo and was trying to get away from him. I remember. I've been covering this team the whole time Kyle's been here. On this platform right here. No original content per YouTube. I've been covering it all. And what I've learned is we're going to pay the guy because he's got to start. Remember I told y'all the market is the market. If you're a starter, you're a backup, or you're a stopgap. And the market was the market, and Jimmy, through 6 games, looked like the guy. Boom, you pay him. And the second Jimmy showed us he ain't him, Kyle was over it. Hey, Tom, you want to? Well, are you sure you don't want? Damn, okay. All right, cool. Well, we just have to run it back with him, and he gets hurt. And Kyle, still trying to get out of there. Oh, we're going to trade up. We're going to trade up. Yeah, but he's coming off a Super Bowl. We're going to trade up. I don't care about no Super Bowl appearance. Huh? I have never seen a quarterback benched on the field before. Jimmy Garoppolo got benched and was left in the starting lineup. 8 pass attempts in a full playoff game, and Kyle tried to defend it the best he could. He tried to defend it the best he could. What did he say? Hey, man, why would we stop running the ball? We didn't need him. We didn't need to run the ball. I mean, we didn't need to pass the ball. Why would we stop running? Good, Kyle. I would have said the same thing. Leverage. We talked about it just 10 minutes ago with Trent. Just talked about leverage. And they trade up for Trey Lance. See, Mike, that right there shows you that they value the quarterback position. They traded up for a quarterback. They traded up to a spot to see who was going to fall to them. They took that guy, and he got 4 starts. He got 4 starts. They might have given away 4 picks to acquire him, bro. If you count the pick that they used to select him, they may have used 4 picks on a guy that got 4 starts. Not a full season, not 4 seasons. Kyle said if you draft an offensive lineman, he's going to start, and we're never going to know if he was a bust or not. They drafted a quarterback who got 4 starts. If that's not proof, if that doesn't create a little bit of doubt that the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan don't value the quarterback position the way that some of these other teams do, I don't know what else to tell you. They got Brock Purdy. Brock's cool. He's good. I like him, and I think there's room for growth still. I still believe that there is room for growth with Brock Purdy. He's never going to have the biggest arm. He's never going to run the fastest 40 at his position. He's never going to throw all these off balance and Matt Stafford type. He's not going to do any of that shit. He's never going to be that guy. He's going to be good. He's going to be consistent. And for those reasons alone, Brock Purdy can't do what Tua did in Charles' comment. Tua took less. Brock can't. He absolutely cannot. And here's the last cherry on the top of why Brock can't take less. And I want y'all to hear me and hear me well. I don't want there to be any distractions. I'm going to pause for dramatic effect, and I'm going to zoom in because I want to make sure y'all can look me right in my eyes and hear what I'm about to say. Name me one quarterback the San Francisco 49ers with Kyle Shanahan have moved on from and they were good somewhere else. Hello? Can y'all hear me? Is this thing on? Can y'all hear me? Hello? If by chance the 49ers do some really weird shit and try to move on from Brock Purdy, I'm not saying there won't be a market for him. I'm not saying that other teams won't be interested in him. Somebody was interested in Jimmy. Somebody was interested in Trey Lance. C.J. Beathard ended up on another roster, right? Sam Darnold signed somewhere else. None of those guys sniffed $30 million contracts. None of those guys sniffed $40 million. Brock is on the precipice of getting $60 million. Don't ask that man to take a discount. There's no way in hell I'm taking a discount. The one thing I like from all of this nonsense about Brandon Aiyuk this offseason, the one thing I like was this. This quote came out from his interview with the guys. What was the name of the podcast? Damn, not I Am Athlete. I'm sorry. I'm saying the wrong name, but y'all know which one I'm talking about. The one thing that was good that came out from that whole thing was if you can't afford a Lamborghini, you can't get a Lamborghini. It's that simple. It's that simple. The pivot. Thank you, Callie. Yes, thank you, Charles. The pivot. Brock Purdy's job is not to get everybody else in that team paid. Brock Purdy is standing there right now, the cheapest man on the roster at the most important position, while everybody else around him has got the guap. Everybody else around him have got the guap. Brock Purdy's just sitting there waiting. He's sitting back like, no, keep building him up. Go ahead. If Brock Purdy won that Super Bowl last year, y'all think anybody out there would be saying, hey, Brock, take a deal? Y'all would be saying, oh, it's time to run this shit back. Y'all would be saying, give him the bank. And if you feel like that would have been your mindset if we won the Super Bowl, you got to feel that way now. I know we didn't win, but we had a lead in overtime. Just get a defensive stop. Just get the defensive stop at the very end. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Brock, don't take a deal. Don't take a deal. I don't care if we lose every player around you, young man. Don't take the deal. I do care if we lose every player around them because I like the Niners winning, regardless of who's on the team. And these guys are some really, really, really good guys. I didn't even mention the corners. I didn't even mention the decision that they're going to have to make between that guy right there. Oh, wrong side. That guy right there and Demo. I didn't even mention that, right? Ward, Lenore, Ward. I didn't even mention that. Haven't said a word about that. It's not Brock's problem. Just like it's not Brandon Aiyuk's problem. Just like it's not Trent Williams' problem. Pay me my money for what I've done and what I can do in this system. That's the other thing that all 49er fans are forgetting when it comes to these 49er contract negotiations. Well, would he be this good if he wasn't in this system? I don't know, and I don't give a shit because he is in this system. Brandon Aiyuk plays here. Brock Purdy plays here. George Kittle plays here. Don't talk to me about what they could be elsewhere. I don't know, and I don't give a damn. And if you want them here, you got to pay them here. Period. That's all I'm saying. Corey Wiggs says here, Mike, I heard your prediction on Trent and BA. Throw a prediction on who signs on Monday. The first signing will be Trent Williams. And if they announce Aiyuk, it's because Trent Williams is already done. And if they don't announce Trent first, best believe it'll be because Aiyuk signed and Trent shows up. But Aiyuk gets signed after Trent signed because that frees up the money. It frees up more money. Let me be clear. They got the money to do Aiyuk right now if they want to. But it frees up more money. And only when they know what the money is going to be after the Trent deal will they sign Aiyuk. They might not announce it first. They might not. But all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh, Trent showed up and he didn't get the deal. I promise y'all. And pads are coming on. If y'all think Trent Williams is going to show up without a new deal when pads are on, and he didn't show up this past week with no pads, they can't even touch me. Ain't nobody going to the ground right now. Y'all think he going to show up when he can go to the ground? Y'all got Big T fucked up. You got him fucked up, man, if that's what you think. He might show up in pads, and he might practice, and they might not announce that deal. And they might say, Brandon Aiyuk got the extension, but trust and believe it's only because the Trent Williams deal was already worked out. He's got all the leverage. Not going to go over it again. Not going to go over it again. And Peachy says that's why BA is at camp. You know why he's at camp? Because he knows the deal is getting done. He's walking around elbow in elbow. They locked. I can't even do it because I'm just me. But imagine me walking with one person in this arm and the other arm is locked in there and we skipping down the street. That's what he's doing on the sidelines with John Lynch. You think that we're at a stalemate about my money and we walking around buddy-buddy like this? Read the tea leaves. Read the room. This is something that I tell my 9-year-old daughter. She's got this thing where it's like, Daddy, I didn't understand. She's like, she'll keep talking to people and they keep trying to end the conversation. She just keeps going and, oh, look at this and look at that. And I'm like, baby, read the room. When you stop talking, they turn their head away right away. They're done the conversation. They're trying to be nice to you. You got to read the room sometimes, baby. You got to read the room. It's one thing to be at camp fishing chips. He's saying BA is at camp to save his money and nothing more. Maybe. It's one thing to just show up. You don't got to be talking to John Lynch. They are laughing at the back of the end zone with each other. Him and Hufanga and John Lynch. They all out there chilling. It's one thing to show up. It's one thing with how you act. The actions are speaking significantly louder than just, hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Marshawn Lynch showed y'all what that looks like. That's not what BA is doing. He's there. He's laughing, they buddy-buddy, but we on principle right now. And until I put quill to paper, can't happen. Can't happen. I'm sorry, man. Principle. It's principle. You got a first-round guy who can't practice with the wide receiver. They said he run routes like me. What'd he look like out there to y'all? Oh, that's right. You haven't seen it yet. Oh, shit. Damn, that's crazy. Pads, come on now. Now it's time to hit. Huh? Now it's time to hit. This is the time of year where number one, my bad, no disrespect. This is the time of year where number one starts missing some of those padded practices because we don't want anything to happen to him. So now you got number one not out there on the field. You got number 11 not out there on the field. And number 15 becomes wide receiver 1 with pads on? Without Trent Williams? What y'all think those offensive practices is going to look like? John Lynch knows this is the business. Aiyuk knows this is the business. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal at all. Kyle said I built a relationship with all of my guys, not just Deebo. I feel like I have a relationship with all my guys. When you work with someone for 4+ years, yeah, you have some kind of relationship. And Kyle understands the business. Hey, Kyle, why isn't Trent here? It's contract stuff. Didn't beat around the bush. Hey, John Lynch, last year you said everybody was up for trade except for 97, Nick Bosa. You feel that same way about Brandon Aiyuk? I wouldn't say that. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Yo, he didn't even bite his tongue. He didn't even bite his tongue. He didn't even hesitate. Yeah, I wouldn't say he tried to walk it back. You know, I probably shouldn't have said that about Nick Bosa in the moment. I probably shouldn't have said it that way. I shouldn't have said it like that. Listen, man, you let it out. You let it out. I don't know what the expression "the cat's out the bag" means because I've never seen a cat in a bag before, like on purpose anyway. Like I've never seen a cat purposely in a bag. Like I've seen a curious kitten get inside a bag. But what does the expression "the cat's out the bag" actually mean? Like everybody knows? Like were people sneaking cats into venues before and then the cat's out the bag? It's like, oh, there they are. Like I don't know what it means, but John Lynch let the cat out the bag. Everybody can get traded except 97. Before negotiations. And in the middle of negotiations, do you feel the same way about Brandon Aiyuk? Hell no. Oh, damn. I shouldn't have said that about Bosa when I said it. So I'm learning my lesson. I'm never going to say anything like that. No, John, you can't walk it back, bro. It's cool. I like you. It's cool. It's cool. You gave us what we need to know. It's cool. All right. Stovey is saying, so is Ricky a wasted pick? I don't know who said that. I don't know who implied that. Wasn't me. If anything I said suggested that I think Ricky Pearsall is a wasted pick, I apologize. That was never my intentions. No way is that what I was trying to say or suggest. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if Ricky Pearsall was meant to be your negotiation chip hanging over Brandon Aiyuk's head, that's a waste then. If he was brought in and you planned on using him to dangle him in front of Brandon Aiyuk, hey, we got this guy. He's cooking it up in camp right now. Huh? You sure you want to hold out? Look at this guy. Can't do it now. Now you can't do that. So Stovey, if that's what I implied, I apologize, but absolutely not. I do not think Ricky Pearsall was a wasted pick. I do not. The first time I saw Ricky Pearsall, I thought he fit the 49ers. From the first time I saw him, I said, that's a Kyle Shanahan wide receiver right there. And I have proof. I got the receipts. I can show you all the receipts if you want, but I said it from the first time I saw him. From the first time I saw him, I said, this guy is the guy that the Niners are going to want. This guy is the guy that the 49ers are going to want to draft. I said it. I don't know how to find it. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. What's my name on Twitter? My name is Mike Andrews 83 and Pearsall. And let's see if I can find the tweet. Bong. Look at that. Just like that. Look at, man, Twitter searches are so cool. They're so cool. They're so cool. Look, right here. I got it. I'm going to show y'all. Here's my receipt. I'm not the receipt guy. I'm bad at this, but I got it right here. Look. Look at that. Right there. Me, tight end, who I wanted, Theo Johnson, who I thought the Niners would like, a Ben Sinnott. Me, wide receiver, Keon Coleman, my favorite receiver this whole draft, 49ers, Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, well, Mike, what does that mean? This might be people that they drafted already. Look at the date, March 17th, 2024. Well, what was this thread that you were talking on, Mike? What does this mean? Who I want the 49ers to target, who they will actually target. And I did this for multiple positions. And when I got to the wide receiver position, bang, I said it back in March. March 17th, middle of the day. All right? So I'm just saying Ricky Pearsall always looked like a 49ers type of guy to me. That's all I'm saying. I did not mean to imply that he is a bust, a wasted pick, not going to work out, or any of the above like that. I'm just saying that he is not the negotiation chip that he could have been had he shown up healthy and ready to rock and roll. That's all. That's all I'm saying. All right. Listen, guys, man, it's about an hour here. I'm going to wrap this thing up. I want to let you guys get back to your Sundays. Thank you all for rocking with me. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. I got a lot more coming for you. I can't emphasize this enough. I can't emphasize this enough, guys. Please head on over to the Patreon, presser breakdowns and things like that. Listen, I do presser breakdowns in long form. I hit play, and I break it down as it's happening. If you guys don't like that, if there's just certain things you want me to break down when it comes to the pressers, let me know. Other people break down film. I break down pressers. I like to psychoanalyze things. I like to look at body language. I like to look at twitches. I like to see when they start playing with the caps on the water bottles and Gatorade bottles, things like that. I like hearing how often they tap onto the podium because you can hear when they start doing certain things, right? Those are the kind of things I look at and break down and psychoanalyze. I like when I can tell someone's excited and trying to contain it. I like when someone wants to pretend to be excited or trying to pump somebody up when they my microphone. I'm sorry. Okay. All right, we back. There we go. Sorry about that. I touched something, shouldn't have touched something. These damn wires are so sensitive, man. They like my wife. Anyhow, so my point is I like breaking all that kind of stuff down. If there's other things that y'all want me to do when it comes to those kind of shows, let me know. If there's something you want to see on Patreon, let me know. All right, patreon.com/NB9ERS. Get on over there. Don't be the last one to join. We're going to have a lot of fun this season. I promise you guys that, all right? Thanks, everybody out there, for rocking out. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. For those of you out there on the West Coast, you guys got a lot of time left. Be productive, be happy, but most of all, be safe, okay? Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey. See, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, them nothing but niners.